Welcome to HTX Renegade Radio. I am Simple Man, and sitting next to me, or on the cam next to me, is TDC, and we are the Conservative Outlaws. Welcome to this Thursday. TDC, how's everything going, brother?
I'm doing better now. It's my favorite time of the week. Get to talk and vent and have a good time. 7 to 9 Thursday, Thirsty Thursdays. There's a very familiar comment in there. Nice to see you already, Dean. Welcome to the show. Good to see you, brother. Yeah, this is going to be awesome, man. I'm looking forward to it. It never fails, you know. It comes down to the wire, getting everything prepared, thinking about everything for the whole dang week of what you've been going through. And then as soon as it's go time, it's a mood change. Everything drops. I feel a lot better. So that's all I'm doing.
Good time to relax and kick back. Like the intro said, when you get in, grab a cold one, kick back, relax, and join in on the show. We love the interaction with everybody, and always some good points that get made throughout the comments. So let's kick this thing off, man.
Heck yeah.
You said about the getting down to the wire, and past couple of weeks, I mean, we're still dealing with some stuff down here on trying to get some things together for a bunch of these companies that got hit hard by the freeze, and it's still lingering on with us. So we're staying busy with it, and we're sliding in right before showtime. So hopefully you're enjoying what you're hearing. And if you didn't get a chance to check out last week's show too, it was the first one. It was kind of thrown together, but we got it out there, and all we can do is get better from here.
Hey, man, that
Julie and Heather's in here. Dean, man, I'm loving this.
That's awesome already. It's just begun. No, it's no doubt, man. The weather, the Texas freeze, or everything definitely has played a big part in what we do and caused havoc, man. It's been absolute chaos of trying to keep up with it all, because there is no one particular place or that we deal with that's thinks that they're not the most important. So yeah, so we're trying to make everybody happy, keep everything going, and yeah, we got it's actually a very special day today, man.
It is a very special day.
I don't know if our listeners or our viewers out there have any idea what is so special about this day, but
take us down memory lane. Why don't
let's go back. Let's go back 1 year ago on this day when we were actually all still working in our happy place, when we found out that Texas got its first case of COVID. Can you believe it? 1 year ago, man. 1 year ago. And how much has changed.
Look how far we've come.
Yeah. Look how far. Look at all the progress we've made since we've been on lockdown and everything. No, just thinking about it, it's almost surreal that a year has really passed. I think about it all the time, and I think because we've been having to deal with so much stuff that it's actually, you don't get a chance to sit back and realize what you're actually dealing with. You're just dealing with it, so to speak. It's like, all right, well, we're coming, we're going. Are we coming back? We're wearing one mask. We got to wear three. What the hell is going on? Who's coming? Who's going? And then next thing you know, it's been a year, and there's already an election that happened. It's been a lot that happened coincidentally within that last year.
Yeah, it's been a chaotic mess. With the COVID stuff now, Governor Abbott has opened up the state of Texas.
Hey.
And I know locally we're getting pushback from the mayor and the Hidalgo out of Harris County. So this ought to be interesting on who's going to win this battle for sure.
Pushback. We're just one Democrat leader away from being a safe state. So,
I would really like to.
It's sad to say that, but yeah.
I'd really like to know when they put that emergency center over there at NRG, where did all that money go to? Because there was not one person that used that facility. And when they set up the other ones, every facility that I'd passed in Harris County, honestly, did not have anybody sitting at them except security guards. So
yeah. What a coincidence. It's funny how that happens. I know there was another state that actually had open hospital beds and actually a Navy ship that was actually created to be one of the largest medical hospitals sitting off the coast up there in the upper East Coast up there, which we'll get into that governor here in a little while. But
well, that was
talking
on
his smack.
that was on both coasts though. They had
Yeah.
emergency ships out on both coasts.
It wasn't even used because one particular governor thought it would be better just to send COVID patients back into the nursing home because let's just go ahead and start talking smack because most of the stuff that's coming from over there makes absolutely zero sense. Like I don't even make any sense, but we'll dive deep into that. Believe me, that's definitely on the hit list of how the hypocrisy runs so deep. It does every show. We got to
Yeah.
tell them a little bit about what we got going on here before we just jump smack. And I know we're super excited, but we're back up on a few more sites now. You would tell them how
Yep.
many more we've actually jumped on. We got to lead the charge here.
We are leading the charge, definitely. We're on Parler, we're on Cloud Hub, we're on YouTube. We have our own YouTube channel again. We're on Twitch. We're not streaming to Twitch tonight, but next week we will be in a better position to do that.
We'll probably start playing video games on there or something.
We're you never know, could happen. The WO Entertainment YouTube page, we're over there on that. The Bill of Rights Network page. I think the WO Entertainment Facebook page. We have so many destinations now. It's awesome that we have so much reach now. It's unreal. But we have let's see here. We've got 7 or 8 different destinations we're broadcasting to right now. So if you would, please go check us out at YouTube. Look for the Lone Star with the 1 in it. It is the HTX Renegade Radio YouTube channel. Look for us on Parler as well. It's same thing, HTX Renegade Radio page. Our Facebook page is growing daily, man, and I appreciate everybody out there. If you're listening and you've gone through the HTX Renegade Radio page, that thing's growing every day. Appreciate the likes. Go ahead.
Everybody out there. I mean, it's awesome because if you tuned in last week, you would have known that we did that within a 24-hour period of completely rebranding, completely starting from scratch. I give Simple Man a lot of credit because he puts a lot of this stuff together and puts his heart and soul into some of these backgrounds, getting us out there. And then we're trying to do all this on the fly. So it's week 2. We're already growing. Thank y'all. We're going to do something special. We're going to do something at the 250 follower, 500 and 1,000 just to reach a couple plateaus. We feel like we're going to do that pretty quickly.
Yeah, we'll do some giveaway stuff.
We'll do that with the help of Facebook because you know how much they love us. It's a little sarcasm there. Sorry.
They love us.
They love us so much.
They love us so much.
They love us so much that 1,000 people will probably have that by the end of the night.
Hey, yeah, and I want to give a shout out to Carl with the Bill of Rights Network and all the guys over at WO Entertainment. Been a big help. We do have a host chat, and everybody, if you have a question or anything, everybody's been so great over there. And thanks to Carl for getting us over on all these destinations that we go to. And being behind the scenes for us, it's a huge help. So, Carl,
no doubt.
Appreciate it. Pimp, everybody, Goose, everybody over there, appreciate it greatly.
Thank you, guys.
Everybody.
And it's only going to get better and better as we start settling in. We're, not making any disclaimers or anything like that, but we've been working our butts off, and we're doing this on the fly, just putting it together. But let's give some shout outs to these people here, man. It's good to see a lot of the same people jumping over, man. It really, really means a lot to us. Julie, thank you very much.
Yeah,
Ash, as always. Dean, Cerny, God, man, it's great to see you on here. Love your comments always. Kristen, Heather's in here. It's coming. It's coming together. Hey, look at there. Look at that. The Spaniards in the house.
In the house, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's not going to take too long with the help of you guys and spreading the word. We really appreciate it. Hey, and at the end of the day, all we want to do is just talk about the same thing we always do, right? We just want to make sure that everybody with the same like mind, morals, and values are not getting trampled on. It's hard to do this. Believe me, there's been some times where I was like, holy crap, maybe they got us, maybe cancel culture is it's coming. And if you don't think so, then you must be blind, because people are getting shut down for their conservative views. I mean, the crap that they're trying to pull right now, just in some of this, the HR1 bill and just everything else, you could tell that there's no more debate. There's no more narrative. All it is nowadays is shut you down. Let's don't even talk about it. And let's create a bill to make sure you don't ever do it again. And let's smash anybody who does do it, because you don't even want to risk anything, your job. You don't want to risk humiliation, being completely exiled from Facebook. Thank you, by the way, because it's been a blessing.
Yeah, the unfortunate part is the scare tactics and stuff, where they definitely want to squelch the voice, where you don't feel like you have a platform. But the funny side is the leftist side of things. They get to say what they want to say, and they run wild. And I don't know if you noticed lately in the news the past couple of days, but everybody's turning back into a racist. We thought that was past us since Trump was out of office, but no, everybody, Texas is now deemed extremely racist because of the fact that we're opening up businesses and people get back to work and their livelihoods, and these small businesses get to start making money again. I mean,
I never understand the correlation.
It's been long overdue. The sad part about it is we know so many businesses, especially, businesses that we would go to, frequent a lot of times when things were wide open.
Thank you for joining, Julie.
Now they're, Julie's leaving us again. She always has some good stuff too. Take care, Julie. Thanks for joining us.
Most definitely.
So a lot of these businesses that we would frequent, when everything was open, now they're out of business. So many good businesses too. And it's very unfortunate. So a little long overdue, but it's happening now. Texas is leading the way. I think now we have Mississippi, Arkansas, Florida. Those guys are hanging tough in there and doing the same thing. And God bless all of them to get things back to normal for the people.
Yeah, Abbott did come out. We said that on our last show that we were going to be in suspense, waiting on his announcement. To be honest, I really didn't think he would do this. I thought that he would kind of just say keep it lingering along. And there is a theory out there of people actually saying that, the timing of this is just perfect because of the our winter crisis we just went through, and him just receiving an award for a wind energy that froze up. So, in the political scheme of things, it was perfect timing, because it's a hell of a distraction for all of us. What a lot of us are just like, hey, we want to get business back. It makes no sense to shut down a complete country, which was number one, better than it's ever been in 2019. Those are facts, people. Lowest employment for every race that was out there, better than it's ever been. And then all of a sudden to be going through everything that we just went through in 2020. And we're going to hit a lot of the causes that actually happened, because 2020 was actually a blur, and 2021 hopefully is not saying hold my beer, because I don't know. We're still in limbo on what's going to happen here.
Well, we'll see. I know I saw some stuff about the stimulus checks and where they're at with trying to help people out, but it seems like it's going to be harder and harder. They're putting some caps on couples that make a certain dollar amount, and I just think it's going to be pretty interesting how they do this.
One thing it's not going to be is $2,000 if you get those 2 Georgia senators elected. Here we are. It's March now, Biden. Everybody's still waiting on those $2,000 checks you lying butt will never cash. Exactly. Thanks, Biden.
Hey, I saw this week, I think it was a couple days ago, might have been yesterday, Dean had posted on his personal page. Somebody tried to use his name. I thought it was to get unemployment,
I did see that.
But I don't know if it was unemployment or VA benefits. Dean, if you throw a comment out there, we'll be able to run.
It was in a whole nother state too. Somebody was trying to steal his identity. Yeah,
Kentucky. So Also,
Kentucky.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I heard it. Actually, I heard something pretty interesting about Kentucky today, and I don't know if I haven't fact checked this, but somebody had told me that Kentucky is where the toothbrush was invented. So, and they said, yeah, it had to be Kentucky because any other state would have said a teeth brush. So, small humor. Sorry, guys.
And if you're from Kentucky, hopefully you're still joining us. Thanks, TDC.
Yeah,
for that warm welcome.
Yeah. Teeth brush, not just one tooth. Anyway, sorry about that. I just had to spit that out there.
So would they have to change the name for toothpaste too?
Yeah, I think we could do a whole new branding. We're going to come out with Renegade Radio teeth brushes.
I think I think we're moving in the wrong direction on this one.
hey, it was I thought it was pretty funny though.
Well, it is funny, but thinking about going from toothbrush that you've known forever to teeth brush, it kind of falls in line with everything else about she is no longer a she, he's no longer a he, E-I-E-I-O. So
all we got to do is just cancel everybody that thought toothbrush was right and tell them they're racist and they're domestic terrorists if you don't use a teeth brush, and we'll be millionaires.
I think at that point we're going to have to change our name from the conservative Outlaws. So
yeah, true. Anyway, sorry, that just was on the top of my head. I don't know where this stuff comes from.
No, look at that. It was Dean said it was Kentucky unemployment.
Yeah,
so that's crazy, man. To be, from a totally different state and somebody's trying to claim on you. So I see Redneck Pimp is in the house.
Look at that. Leave it up to some hillbilly to pick up a pine cone and rub it on his gums and sing happy birthday. Yep, there it is. Toothbrush.
There it is. Too damn funny.
Love it, guys.
I saw
no, you're right, man. There has been some crazy stuff that has been said. There's been a lot of spouting off, and I guess they got tired of going after DeSantis because he's been open for quite some time. And if anybody tuned into CPAC and then got to watch our awesome president speak, wow, that was 90 minutes of brilliance. It was, man. Trump killed it. He basically, everything that we're sitting here questioning right now, he put in place for our protection. We, the people, had everything going in the right direction. He's completely demolishing, and leave it up to somebody with enough, to get out there and put it out there on the main stage. They were saying that most presidents go off into the shadows, let the next one just do. No, not Trump. He's like, all right, here we are a month in, and you've already screwed up everything, and you're undoing everything that was once right. And he's like, I'm trying to tell you, be prepared. Be prepared. Everything's about to go up. You're about to be paying out the wazoo for everything. Gas has already went up. I just filled up the other day. It was $15 more. So, and this is just the beginning.
It's just the beginning. It's going to keep climbing. You see in the memes every day.
The memes
every day of the gas prices, and the finally we're going to get to WTF, OMG on the prices. So
hey, I did a little bit of numbers too, if we want to go over those.
Are we gonna, what is this, on the COVID numbers?
Yeah.
All right, yeah, let's
since it's the 1 year anniversary, so I figured that we would start dropping some stats on some people, because believe it or not, there's a lot of people out there that are scared to leave their house. They're actually wearing 2 or 3 masks, and they're showering in them too, because if they shower without a mask, they'll probably breathe, and who knows what could happen.
I'm glad you're bringing that up, because that's something, when you're done going through these numbers, I'm going to bring up about Joy Reid and Michael Moore, and them spouting off stuff. So,
oh, heck yeah. Well, they're always spouting off, but I wanted to do this just to set the tone of what COVID has started off, where the fear has gone. And today I just checked Worldometers, which has been a reliable source since the beginning of tracking this. And I figured for our viewers, and I know I could have probably went all over the world because we've had people all over the place tuning in, but for right now, I just wanted to target in on 4 big states and go over some of these death rates, because obviously the fear has been that people are dying all over the place, and we got to stay closed. We got to stay closed. But here's the actual numbers as of today. I just did them not even an hour ago. So let's just start off in our state here. Texas, total cases 2,686,960. Total deaths 44,962. You do the math. I do some math. When I did this math, I almost felt like I needed to ask Siri, because I was like, is this even right? But that comes up to a total of 0.01674. So we're
Hold
at
on, repeat that again.
0.01674. So just to tell you, like, people are not dying when they're walking out of their house. That's Texas. And now the cases are high, and it's no laughing matter to think that nearly 45,000 people are passing away. Obviously, this thing is affecting people. It's affecting people a lot more with pre-existing conditions, heart failure, COPD, emphysema, obesity. If you have known conditions and you're out there and somebody sneezes on you and you catch pneumonia, you're probably going to be in the same boat. I mean, I wish I would have had time to actually go into the flu and strep throat numbers, because I've yet to hear of anybody have that, and I usually get that every year. Let's go on.
Yeah, it does seem like those are down, but
yeah, if there is silver linings, COVID cured the flu and strep throat, so we got that going for us.
At the beginning of all this and midway through, it was curing cancer too. So.
I think we actually squeezed in a vacation actually just over a year ago, went to Mexico, and right when we came back is when all this was kicking off. And I actually got tested. I was sick. I had strep throat and the flu. Des said that. But every like a couple of weeks after that, some people weren't as lucky and had to sail around on a cruise ship. But it happens, man.
You're not naming names, are you?
No viewers out there. But let's go on to New York, which obviously has a lot to say right now, because they run a top grade A state over there. They lead the way, and they got a lot to be pompous for, except for absolutely nothing. And you're actually it's pretty shameful what's happening up there.
The HMIC that's up there is Como the Clown.
Como the Clown, exactly, and his brother. They need to actually do a little Barnum and Bailey show together, because they're a bunch of idiots.
It could be a 2-clown circus.
But if we are going to talk about numbers, I think that everybody knows what's going on in New York. If you don't, obviously Como was sending COVID positive patients, or not patients, but residents, back into nursing facilities, thinking it was a smart idea, when there were hospitals that were available. There was Navy ships that were ready for more and more people just sitting right there that they could have been transferred to. But no, he thought it would be a bright idea to send them back into nursing homes, then lie about the death rate. That's about as low of a human being as you can be. And for him, and then let's just go ahead and throw some sexual harassment on top of it. This guy's just an all-around winner. Congratulations, New York. And then you want to call our governor, say that he's putting people at risk? I'm like, where's the audacity for this guy to even talk, dude? You got charges of sexual allegations against you that you've done, and you killed people, you put people in danger to die. But you're going to say because we open up our state? Let me read their numbers here, just because that's horrible, right? What he done, and it was like all these lying.
Now, are these going to be real numbers, or are these the numbers that he put out there?
These are the number from Worldometers. So I don't know if it's been updated since he was hiding 50% of the deaths, but it kind of correlates to ours. So when I tell you this, now supposedly they only had 1,708,405 total cases. Deaths 48,307. So what does that tell you? They had almost a million less cases supposedly than we did, but almost 5,000 more people died than we did.
Yeah.
So that sounds horrible, right? Because if they would have had another million, obviously it would have been a lot more people dying. And maybe
Right.
that is where this cover up or whatever. But it doesn't do them no favor when you're dealing with numbers, because numbers don't lie. You can only do percentages and come up with that one way. It's just
Exactly.
deaths and cases. So we do that, and that's horrible. This is one of the worst states in the whole country right now. 0.028. So let me repeat that. Texas was at 0.016 of a death rate. Not 1%, 0.016. Anybody that's passing away from anything is horrible.
Right.
But in this case, 0.028, which is horrible. That's double of what it is here in Texas, if
Right.
you want to look at death rates. But it still ain't even 1%. And we're still talking about closing down and wearing 3 masks. Hell, next thing you know, that we're going to be doing what China's telling us to do, and we're all going to have anal swabs. Like those poor American diplomats over there are just taking it. Literally. They're like, welcome, Biden administration, bend over, because your dumbass is selling Americans out. Hey, I'm going to shoot through these next one quick because I don't want to bore people with numbers, because even myself, that's all I do all day. I feel like I just crunch numbers. So, but California, this is kind of surprising because they actually have the lowest number, but it kind of proves the case too. So they have 3,584,902 cases. So they're almost a million more than even us. But they have 53,297 deaths. They're obviously having more deaths, but they have a lot more reported cases. But that brings them to 0.014. So it's there are a million more cases, but it just goes to prove the point that this thing is low. And not to mention how many cases, because they gave the double the incentive to sign off on a COVID case deaths. How many of these are actually real? I'm not going to get into that because I just don't want to, because it is real and some people have really suffered. So I'm not insensitive to that, believe me. But obviously, we're not even talking about 1% here, and we're shutting down a whole damn country that was leading the way, energy independent, lowest unemployment rates, and now all of a sudden we're shutting down for this. Hell, people were dying in 2019. People were dying more of the flu than this. Just put that in thought.
Dean's comment kind of puts things in perspective too. Trump sent mercy to New York City. If Como used the mercy,
Exactly.
it would have been Trump would have looked good. Como would rather kill people than make Trump look good. And honestly, I think
that's my point.
What I was going to go with this after we opened up on the Como deal, those are all ingredients to be a Democrat politician. So you can see he was going from being praised to thinking he was going to be having a run for the White House. So I'm not going to say that's hilarious, but I think that hypocritical bullshit is going to bite you in the ass, and that's exactly what it did. And furthermore, I don't like doing what ifs, but Newsom's not much different than a Como. And so it makes you wonder how accurate those numbers, the numbers are coming out of California are.
I don't know if you remember there for a while when the death rate. See, that's why I always go by death rate, because the death rate is what it really boils down to. Because everybody and their brother could have had COVID. Half the people probably didn't even know they have COVID and got up, put their shoes on, and went out and earned a living, paid taxes, and bettered this country and bettered their families.
Right.
Until it was completely shut down because of something that's at the worst 0.028%. Oh my God, you're all going to die. You're all going to die. Every news station, this stuff is killing people left and right. Why every life is important. Would you shut down everything so everybody is going to be so dependent? I think I heard today on the way into work that It was in the billions of dollars that Texas has paid out in unemployment over just this last year. I mean, it was insane amount of unemployment because of this. Now, if we have to shut down every time somebody sneezes and everybody has to worry if they're going to be able to feed their family, get the hell out of here. If you're that damn scared and you're that paranoid, hey, guess what? You could wear 5 masks. You could wrap your head in a damn mummy outfit and stay the hell at home.
Exactly.
Sit there, wait for go call your Democratic congressperson, tell them to keep sending you bailout checks. The rest of us got to get out there and work and feed our families. It's ridiculous, man. It is insane what is happening here. Fear, man. Fear. It's a democratic debate tool.
Let's look at let's look at the pin, the tail, and the donkey. I mean, with CDC.
Are you talking about AOC?
No, CDC.
Oh.
I mean, we have all these CDCs, TDC, AOC.
Don't compare me to that.
On the CDC, look at when Trump was still in office, the misinformation that the CDC was kicking out. So they would come out and they would say something, and then, within 12 hours later, they're having to, bite the bullet on getting in front of everybody on camera and say, we were wrong, it was this and this. And I mean, just look, it's like spinning somebody around blindfolded, and there you go. Here's your pinata stick. Go beat it.
Yeah.
And
that's
so
it. Beat it.
who you can trust. But I'm glad we're doing this, because I'm going to try to pull up this video of Joy Reid, the way she's talking about, because Governor Abbott is opening up Texas.
Right.
That the hatred, we in Texas don't care about people, and we just want to see them die because we're going to open up. But TDC, again, what was that percentage that you kicked out for Texas a while ago?
Texas right now, overall death rate is at 0.0,
and that's
6,
less than 1%.
A lot less than 1%. It's barely over a tenth.
I would like to go and compare that 1% to suicides during this whole COVID mess. Compare it to see how deadly
that there too.
That was. And who are we really trying to hurt? People that aren't able to get out and function as they normally would, get cabin fever, lose their job, or on furlough for long periods of time. That in itself is more dangerous than 1%, less than 1%, having the ability to open up businesses and for people to provide for their families and have some kind of sanity to get back to normal.
100%.
So I'm gonna find this video on Joy Reid.
Find that, because that's what I'm gonna spin off of what you just said. You're exactly right. Because you take somebody, and we've talked about this on many other shows, and we said that most people just want to go out there, earn an honest living, be able to provide for their families. Obviously, they're going to get kicked in the butt with taxes, because we all do. If you're a contributing part of this plan, which we call America, you get out there, you do your part, you come home. If you got enough money to have a few nice things and put some food on the table and hug and love your kids, that's enough for a lot of people, because that should be enough for everybody, because that's the ultimate key. But when you strip that from people based on your fear tactics, and you scare people and scare, if you want to have a logical debate, let's do it. Give me some damn research on these masks working. You know what? Every time I ask that, nobody can do it. You know why? Because there is none. It's a lie. It's a lie. If it wasn't a lie, some genius would have already came out and said, hey, I just proved that these work. But you got an idiot up in office who's a president who's calling people Neanderthals, saying obviously they do work. Oh, do they? Then show me the studies that show me they do. You know what?
Exactly.
No one's been able to provide that yet. There's actually only one proven study that was done, and it proved that they don't do nothing. Not a damn thing. And you can go check on YouTube, look up vaping with a mask on, and if you think the vape molecules are 10 times bigger than the flu, which is bigger than COVID, and it comes right on out. So maybe if you put 50 on, You might have a chance. You idiots. Stop
Exactly.
doing this to yourselves. Quit being scared to live. Quit dialing into a damn TV that just wants you to be scared and send money. And you know what? Pretty soon there's going to be no money because you're going to have everybody unemployed and dependent on the government. Shit, we just seen it on what happens here. We had a freeze for a couple of days when people were out of power. And you know what happens? There's no more supply. There's no food. People are in lines trying to get generators.
Exactly.
And we want to pay the government more? Who thinks like that?
Exactly.
Somebody that's irresponsible, can't fend for themselves, needs a handout. Put on your big boy pants, get out there and earn a living. Quit listening to this crap.
Exactly. You know, Dean makes a good point, and as too, if you look, I mean, it's all about control, no doubt. The best way to kill a country to tell everyone that they'll die if they leave the house.
You're exactly right, Dean.
If you ain't living, you're dying. You know what I'm saying? So people are so scared to die that they're not even living. You know, get out and live.
Try it. It's pretty good. It was a nice day today. Some of y'all didn't even get out.
This life is too short to begin with, and then to have somebody throw some fear tactics on you, where you can't even. People are gonna have anxiety, and Xanax sales are gonna go up out the roof just because people are afraid to leave the house anymore.
Hey man, that's a damn good thing because Big Pharma's back in business again. Hell, insulin's up 4 or 5 times the amount. But Trump had it down to like $50. If there's anybody who's diabetic that actually has to use insulin, and you could weigh in to provide some more data, but we've heard that it's gone up over $500, $600. So once again, somebody that's dependent upon their life has to. That now you kicked out of a job and now you're back in bed with Big Pharma. Now you're expecting them to come up with $500 that they can't even pay their rent because they're still waiting on the $2,000 stimulus that you lied and said you were going to bring. You can't even come through with your 2,000. It already went to 14 before you even got a chance. But now you want to put more pressure on people? You're already killing jobs. What more can you do? Oh, I know what you could do. You could open up the borders and let a bunch of illegal aliens in with COVID.
And that just happened. That just happened this week. 108 illegals.
It's just insane, man.
Were let across the border. They tested positive for COVID. They let them come on in anyway.
Come on in.
No restrictions. But I tell you what, if that was the American taxpayer, the hell, they proposed it before, when probably about midstream through all the COVID mess, and they were still trying to do testing and stuff. They were going to come to your house and knock on your door
for blood.
For blood sample.
They said that you would actually know us because they would said they would all have matching shirts on with needles, just saying, "Hey, you want to contribute to some blood?"
Do you remember what that shirt was going to say? I can't remember
No, but it was it was something that Turner came up with, so it was probably dumb as hell.
Yeah, that's where that all that money at NRG
give first or some who knows. America last.
All that money over there at NRG went to making shirts. Probably some rally towels too.
I heard this today that they were saying that down on the border, here's a couple things that actually was reported. They said that they didn't want the overall view to be like cages anymore. And those cages, which were created by Obama and Biden. So just to get that, let's go back in time for the last 4 years when Trump was in office, they said, how inhumane, you're putting him in cages. And Trump was like, your last president and vice president are the one who built those cages. So he had to deal with all that flack of the Democratic cages. Now the Democrats were like, hey, man, they didn't really like the whole cages we've been going up with. So now they got storage containers. And what did they do? They cut out little squares so they could have one little window. But you know what? They put bars on those windows. So it's like you got little concentration camps up. Yeah. And I'm trying to remember offhand the exact number, but the number was like they're apprehending like 331 children a day a day, and they're expecting almost 200,000 still on the way. This is children. This is not adults. This is children that are coming in. And then there's so many that are coming in that they don't even have a chance to see them all. But over 80% of the ones that they are seeing are positive on COVID. They're trapped in these little storage containers. Then the next wave comes in, so they're like, come on in. Come on in. Who knows what's going to happen now? And here's another kicker. True statement. They're wearing Biden shirts saying "Save us." I mean, It's a sad story when you come to humanity, but Jesus, when you're sitting here telling us not to open up our state as taxpayers that are just and the people who lost their jobs, you cut down the Keystone Pipeline, which has affected everything else, but you're going to let illegal immigrants into this country that have positive COVID, and you're going to call our governor a Neanderthal thinking, but you're just dismantling ICE and Border Patrol on a daily basis and stopping the wall and letting known people with COVID. That's Neanderthal.
That is Neanderthal.
I mean, what the hell? Who's writing this guy's script? Because he is off.
You got to remember, it's the Democrat hypocrisy, man.
That's true too. 18 illegals did just get killed in SUV.
That is what they call their democracy. Yeah, I didn't hear about that story. Maybe.
Yeah, there was like 30 of them. I think they shoved into an SUV and got into a traffic accident. They actually pulled out all the seats and shoved them in there, and there was an accident. I don't have the exact details, but I did hear the story told a few times, and I didn't even look it up because it didn't surprise me, because I've seen illegal aliens sew themselves into the seats, and then somebody sits on them for a 10-hour drive, and when they get pulled over, the only thing that was showing was a face so that somebody can breathe, sewed in. So no, it's obvious. 2017. Yeah, it's no doubt, man. I mean, why weren't we hearing any of these stories 4 years ago? You want to know why? Because we had a hell of a president that stood for America first, border security. I mean, this is the reason why he won. Even they weren't prepared when he won in 2016, because he preached on values that we've all been thinking were common sense. But he actually came out and said he was going to do it, and he did it. And you know what happened? We put America first. We came into energy independent, and we became monster. We could actually feel pride to have our flags again. And you know what? Then it was like, oh my God, if you're waving an American flag, you're a racist because you love America. It's like,
exactly.
You know what? I do love America. I serve this country. We've had forefathers fought and bleed and die for all these rights just for us to sit here and have some idiot step and burn on a flag. That's your right. But you know what? I love this country.
Why wouldn't you hold your hand over your heart and pledge allegiance to that flag?
Yeah.
This country means something to people. It's not a stepping stone. We pledge allegiance here. This isn't just come over and shit on this country.
Hey, think about that though. So you said it. You nailed it right there at the end of that. So you got all these people that are coming over here and just bash the hell out of America. If you're American, you're this, you're that. Oh, America, I hate America. But these are the same people that are doing this.
Oh yeah. Well, hold on.
America. Hey, America.
Here's the deal.
Give me something.
It's the
but
Trojan
I hate
horse.
America.
It's the Trojan horse.
Go ask for something in another country.
TDC, it's the Trojan horse, man. It's the people that are doing this, that are passing that money out and allowing it to happen.
Oh yeah, like false promises.
Those are the people writing policy. Those are the people that are writing policy to keep their ass out of prison. Is what they're doing.
Oh yeah. Hey,
I've got
you hit on that. You hit on that a while back about the Hunter Biden, how we already seen that. Who's getting put into position just to cover up his crackhead.
CYA coming out of the WH up there.
No accountability.
Exactly.
You want to talk about lack of integrity? This the bill that they're trying to pass right now with no voter ID, they're just going to shoot it out off of a federal list to where anybody can vote. No vetting. Come on. All you're doing is because you have no platform. Everything you say, it can be smashed in any debate. You have zero intelligence when it comes to any kind of issues. So what do? You try to make everything, you want to invite as many illegals in. You want to just say anybody can vote. It don't matter if you died or you moved away. There will be no checking. You don't want no checks in a system that already has 75 to 80 million, over half the country, that's legalized to vote, sitting here not having zero faith in this. But this is the bills you want to pass.
Yeah.
And then anybody who stands up and believes in fair democracy and voting and have a damn valid ID. I got to have a valid ID to do anything I want to do, but to our most sacred right of all, you want to just let anybody do it? A dead person could do it? How much sense does that make? Even people on the left, wake the hell up, man. I would never shut anybody up just to say I won the conversation. I want people to try to persuade me. Let's have a talk. Let's get through it. Don't cancel people off. This what we have going on right now is it's every one of those totalitarianism, whatever ism, yeah, dictatorship, communism, socialism, any of the other ones that's basically going to end us up begging for food and standing in line for a loaf of bread.
Hey, Dean makes a good point here too. The same ones who hate this country have never sacrificed anything for it and have their hands out. And, you know, going off of what you were just saying, you know, these politicians, these leftist politicians, put themselves in place, you know, proposing to pay off student debt and, you know, college basically free. That's catering to the young crowd, the younger crowd. So they're trying to increase their base by offering basically bribes. We'll do this for you, basically, if you're going to get the vote. Do they necessarily say that out front? No, but Biden did in Georgia about $2,000 stimulus check. And if so, you know, basically persuading your vote to go out there and vote and persuade for the Democratic candidates to win that you were going to get a $2,000 stimulus check. So
I honestly believe they're trying to rush all this stuff right now through as fast as they can while they have a little bit of control, because they know in 2022 hell's coming, and they already know that they're going to lose on all principles unless Dominion's in full effect and whatever else they could pull. But I mean, people, you hear all this woke, we're all woke. Well, it's time for conservatives to woke the hell up, because if you want to sit on your damn hands and not be heard, you're going to get passed by. You're going to get passed by the stuff that's happening in our schools, the stuff that we got to leave this country when we're gone for our children. You want to say that you sat there and just let this country turn into a shit pile because you just sat there? We got to stand up for this, man. Because I'm telling you, if you just sit there, it's going to happen. We got it. And I mean, don't get discouraged, because I think this turnout for President Trump was record breaking. It's like he broke every dang record you could ever break in votes and still somehow found a way to lost in the midnight hours. We all know what happened.
Doubt. Now look what the Democrats propose now. Going in the studio earlier, Carl was talking about one of the bills they're trying to pass, and that's online voting.
Yeah, it's a HR1.
I mean, insanity in it, in all the way around right there. I mean, look what happened with the last one. You want to take out all doubt? Physically have somebody show up and cast their vote. Do not kill the value of your voice with the vote by doing stupid shit like that and doing online, where already we talk about 8 years in a row how hacking has been a problem, you know, to this country, with China, with anybody else now. I mean, we've learned after this past election that there's more countries than China trying to get in on this. And so
that's another book that Biden just suspended.
You want to open up some crazy stuff, is to go ahead and let them vote online and see what happens. We're going to have we'll break records all the way across the board, because you'll have triple of whatever voted last time, and they'll be voting from, you know, 300 different countries around the world. So
I agree, Dean. Voter ID and in person only. and there better be some signature verification. It's the only way to try to reestablish, if any, integrity. I think, and I mean, that's the sad part. Everybody has lost a lot of faith, as well you should, because if Trump did anything for all of us, he laid it all on the line. He showed us how bad this was. We probably already knew, but we were just, accepting it and like, it is what it is. We're going to pay them taxes. They're going to have special interest. Well, Trump was like, it doesn't have to be like that. These people are crooks. Look at them. Just look. He exposed everything. And I mean, hopefully some of y'all listen to his speech, because it sounded pretty dang good that he's coming back. And if him and DeSantis are on a ticket, woo, man, that's pure. That's some American stand up for American talk right there. We're not going to be cowering down. We're not going to be shutting down for 0.016%. We're not going to ruin the best economy in the world and have the worst unemployment rate ever now all of a sudden because of this. You just don't do this.
Well, one of the great things,
you just got to, the people that are in danger, they got to realize for the other 99.9% of people, for the greater good, y'all just need to wear your 3 masks and stay the hell at home.
Exactly.
And that's the thing that goes on in this country. The biggest issues and the biggest problem in this damn country are 1%ers, transgenders that need to play women's sports. Why the hell are we talking about that? We got the worst damn unemployment rate because they're shoving masks down your face. Let's open it up. Let people get back to work. But no, we got to worry about if a Pat's going to break the next girl's state record. That's what we got to worry about. Have we gone that far? Hey, newsflash, there's 2. You're on this side or you're on that side. Other than that, you're not breaking no damn records. Sorry. I said, hey, to lighten it up a little bit, I did see a meme that was actually pretty good. It was, no, I'm not taking the vaccine. I'm just going to identify as I did. Exactly. How about that?
Man,
is that okay?
When it gets down to the point, we're all adults here, and we're going to do the best for what's best for our kids, and we can make a decision whether we want to wear a mask or take the vaccine. Nobody makes that choice but you.
That's right.
And it's not going to be forced upon anybody. My kids are going to understand that nothing's going to be forced on you. You're going to be the one that decides, whether you take it or not. If you want to wear the mask, I mean, that's your choice. It's an individual's choice. When they take away the voice of the American or even the individual around the world, you're letting somebody else speak for you. And we see how that works all the time. It gets misleading, and people, have an agenda there where whatever they're going to say is going to benefit themselves. You talked about Trump and, being in office. The greatest thing about that was the fact that he was in a position where he didn't want to lie to the American people. Americans haven't had somebody on the inside in a very long time. So when you get a president in there that gets to see what's going on, and then still up there being patriotic the way he is, knowing what's going on behind the scenes, that's huge. That's huge. Yeah. And it needs to light the fire in a lot of damn people, especially our young people. Light the fire and carry this on. Trump was a voice, one person. We got to be the rest. We got to be the voice. We got to carry the voice, and we got to get that out there.
100%.
I got this video up on this hate speech, but we're already at the break too.
That's all right. I mean, it'll lead into. I mean, all of this is.
Let me play it.
Relative.
Let me play it then, and then we'll do that before the break, and that way everybody can digest this a little bit and come back and see what they feel about this. I can tell you, in Texas, for the majority of the people that I mean, the state itself, but I can tell you the people that I know are going to give everybody a fair shake, no matter what color, religion, whatever else. It's going to give you a fair shake. If you're an honest enough person to do the same in return, then no doubt. it's when
Houston is one of the most diverse cities in this whole country.
it is, and they're making it a global city. But in that aspect and respect, we give people the common courtesy, and when it's not shown back, then that's when we change. I'm not going to change who I am, my morals, values, and everything like that, because somebody's going to treat me like whatever. But don't get me wrong. It does change things. So
we're gonna start filling up that little jar again, right?
If we're gonna make a cuss jar,
Yeah.
no doubt. All right, so I'm gonna put this video up. Let's share it. Not share it, but let's listen to it. I'm gonna mute my mic and all that. Keep yours on so you can tell me if it's looking right.
Okay, I got you. No volume, simple man. Not hearing it. This is called On the Fly Radio, people. And that's the beauty of it, because we're not studio heads. Are you on mute? You're on mute.
Oh, there it is.
There
hey,
you go.
let me try something different real quick, and then we'll go back to it.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I know. I know where you're going with that, but just to stay, it's a damn shame that this has been a common narrative, because I'm over it, man. I'm tired of it. I'm not no racist. I'm not no damn terrorist. I want the best for everybody. And the main thing is, I think the main reason even getting into doing this is for the kids out there, the children, man, because they're the ones that we got to do a better job of leaving this place better than we found it. If you don't, then what the hell are you doing?
Exactly. And that goes back to not letting people speak for me. I treat people fairly. In return, you expect the same, but don't let anybody, speak for you per se, and put you in a predicament where, it's going to make you look like just as big as an asshat. So
are we gonna wait? We'll wait and just start the second hour off, and we can kind of dive in on that. We're about to hit our break, or you want to try to get it?
No, I'm going to try to get it right here.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Hey guys, thanks for sticking with us on this first hour. We're coming out of the gates. We're firing. We're going to stay on this topic just because, in this state, it was a big week for us. We are opening up 100%. So a lot of other states are starting to do the same. Let's hope this wave keeps going. We are going to hit on the most important part, though, and that's our children. So we're going to talk about some of the social effects that this has had on some of the children coming up, and then we got some future shows to where we're going to bring some people from the inside to really nail it down. But this is kind of setting the stage for the most important thing in our lives, and that's our children. So hour 2 is going to be awesome, but let's watch this video.
This video is just going to lead up to how asinine people are, and it's a shame that somebody's going to talk like this, in my opinion, when there's so many other people affected, no matter the color that's in the state of Texas. But remember, I think this video says basically like-minded people, like other governors that want to open up their states too. So let's pop into this and see what we can get.
All right.
No, absolutely. I'm sure the doctors are exhausted. And, Jason, there is a term called necropolitics, which is essentially the politics of who gets to live and who gets to die. And these states, what they have in common is that they have structures which say that Black and brown lives matter less. And so all that matters is the Black and brown people get their behinds into the factory and make me my steaks, make me my stuff, get there and do my nails, work. Get back to work now and do the things that I, the comfortable, affluent person, need. Isn't that what we're seeing? I mean, that's what it feels like to me. Necropolitics in states like Texas.
Oh, yeah. The Hunger Games would be more humane, right? If they made people line up and fight for vaccines, at least then you have a fighting chance. No, they're just going to starve people. And it's always seemed ironic to me that the party of supposedly family values is basically saying, you kids starve, auntie starves, uncle starves, and my wife and my smart son get to eat and get to live and get the vaccine. That is essentially what's happening here. And here's the problem. It used to just be an issue of harming Black and brown people, but this is harming what's left of the Republican base. Mississippi's a red state. They're killing a lot of their own supporters. Yeah. Texas is a red state. Even though it's through suppression, they're killing a lot of their own supporters. So it's not even political. It's just nihilism and an absolute lack of empathy for the human impact and the catastrophe that so many Americans are living through right now.
Yeah, and let's not forget that in a lot of these states,
Texas, they didn't expand the Medicaid program on purpose. They turned down money to expand a program that could give people health care. That's the state we're talking about.
Yeah. No, absolutely. You're at it. There's a reason they call it necropolitics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what you call it. All right.
Yeah, and it goes back to, like I said, how asinine is that. I love the part where he was talking about auntie and grandma starving and kids starving. People not going to work and being able to go to work, they're going to starve and they can't take care of their families. They're not going to put bread on the table. They're not going to put any food on the damn table if they can't go to work. And for some asshat to sit there and say that about people starving because you want to open the state back up, not even worth the airtime on TV, man.
But you got to realize that now, especially with this cancel culture, there's not a lot of people that are getting real news. So all they know is, their normal channels, and this is what they're spoon-fed. There's no journalism anymore. There's no real reporting. There's just narrative.
It's biased. It's biased though. And the thing about it, this guy's on a platform just as much as Joy Reid is. She's on a platform where she's able to give information out there. Nobody gives information anymore. Nobody reports the news anymore. You can't even get it from your local news. But she's in a position, and so is this guy, to be informative about something. And what they do, they're being biased and the way that they're delivering this thing. And you're going to kill people because you're going to open the state. But again, we go back to something that's less than 1% death rate in the state of Texas. Did we get into the suicide?
No, that's going to. I'm saving that
after that. So
we're saving that because we're going to get into the social effects that this is. We'll start talking a little bit about schools in hour number 2. We're going to talk about the, especially in our teens. We'll hit on a lot of that. But yeah, man, it's totally asinine just to think that because we're opening up and letting people actually have a job and actually go back to work and put some money and food on the table again, that we're starving people because we're going to open up. But here's a little kicker on this, though. I think that because they were already talking about how they're planning on these spikes in April and all this. They're going to tell us there's a spike coming and they're just going to want the control to shut us down. Well, hell yeah, there's going to be a spike because you're opening up the border to people who have 80% chance of having COVID. You're doing that. Go on your show and talk about that, you idiots.
Exactly. It's coming.
You're telling us because we're opening up businesses and allowing our state to thrive again? Our people who pay taxes and are part of this country and bleed the red, white, and blue, that they can't eat and they have to starve? But yeah, we're going to let 11 million people in, COVID, whatever, come on in, no job, nowhere to go, nothing. What are they going to go do? Exactly. They're going to commit crimes. They're going to steal. They're going to do whatever it takes to feed themselves. Those are the people who are starving, the ones you were letting in with COVID, the ones you've been telling to come for months before the election.
Exactly.
That are wearing Biden shirts.
That's incitement.
Yes, damn
so
right.
So whatever happens from that point is incitement. So, Jennifer makes a good point here too. That's because the government wants the people to rely on it. so it has more control over the people, and these people are falling for it. And that's exactly it. How it's going to be great to see how many eyes are on Texas after opening up, because now, just like Joy Reid, just like Michael Moore, they're all going to be focused on this. You're going to see an increase in the COVID counts. I can guarantee it. Whether it's reality or not, you're not going to know, but they're going to make sure it's over all media worldwide for sure.
And they're going to say it's because Abbott opened up his state. Look at all this. Look at all this. They're not even going to tell you that they've dismantled ICE. They've almost completely cut down Border Patrol. They're not going to tell you about the 1,500 people that are crossing almost hourly right now. There's nobody out there with a camera crew showing you that. But it's been happening. It happened in the previous administration before Trump. You better believe it. Hell, I did debates way back in '96 on the overpopulations of prisons. And guess what? Where that research led me? Right back to illegal immigration 2 or 3 times in a year. The billions of dollars we pay for that. There were some smart people out there that actually believed that a wall would work. So we wouldn't waste our tax dollars on funding stuff like that. And just like these damn stimulus bills, now how much of it is actually to help people? If you really wanted to help people, you would ixnay everybody else out of it. China, you want to give China money in a stimulus package? Why? Why not just think about Americans for once? Why do we got to barter with your special interest groups to give some people some relief? You freaking scumbags.
Biden's got to be able to pay back some of that money he got from the Chinese, before going into the campaign election.
Oh, so. They got them, man. And I wish that they would leak some of that laptop stuff, because then shame on you for voting for a family that is disgusting as they are.
We are going to be
fired up, man.
Man, we're not going to know. Guaranteed for the next 4 years, we're not going to know crap on that at all. So, hey, unfortunate for the American people, because I'm sure that unless Hunter has a coming to Jesus meeting, no, there's not going to be any.
The one thing that we have learned is that the Washington D.C. has the biggest rug in the whole damn world, because they got so much shit swept under that. I don't even know where they can find any more room, because nobody's ever guilty. It's just one big lie and conspiracy after another. Nobody's accountable, and yet we pay for your ass.
Exactly.
It's time we let them know that. Start locally. I'm about to do a final thoughts right now. I'm so fired up. Hey, we got to take a break, man. We got to take a break.
So, not yet on the final thoughts. So I'm working on. We're gonna play some Kenny.
Hey, we may just do one, since we're already 10 over, so we can get back this.
We're gonna do 2.
All right,
we'll get back on it. I think if Carl can give us a nod whether or not we can spend a few minutes over, but
he said we got to be off at 2, and then if we wanted to do anything, it has to, because we would have to switch platforms. But
okay, gotcha.
Let's just play some music, go to break. Everybody grab another cold one. Hey, we're just getting started. Hour 2 usually even gets more fun, a little more fired up. And we're talking about our children, people. We're talking about the schools. So that's what's most important. Stay tuned. We love you guys.
Give me 1 second here.
Coming to you live.
Yep. See,
Conservative
we're gonna play 2. I'll play a long one and a short one.
Sounds good.
All right.
I'm reckless and I make it to town. Them sirens howling and burning it down. You better call your mama and tell her the news. You gon' backslide to the moorways in new high shoes. She It may be fading, darling, I feel alright. Come on, darling, let's burn up the night. My road is wicked and it's wearing me thin. Wide out and hungry with the devilish grin. You know I'm getting that feeling again, but you're my only hero. You've always been. I've never had things you needed the most. You wanted angel wings, and I gave you a ghost. And I'm floating with the coolest and chills up your back. Run the things through your long hair, then fade into black. Love it haunts you, then it takes you right back. Come on, darling, let's fade into black. My road is wicked and it's wearing me thin. Wide out and hungry with the devilish grin. You know I'm getting that feeling again, but you're my only hero, and you've always been. When the lights go down and I'm a rolling stone, when the show leaves town and we put it on the road, I got a wandering mind and a hand on the wheel. If people listen to these songs, do you know how I feel? This ain't some rhinestone bit, and this ain't some circus show. Son, this is pure cowboy shit. Ain't your daddy's rodeo. No, it ain't his rodeo. I'm rambling around towns I ain't ever seen. It ain't much of a life, but it's a hell of a dream. And it's fading fast, but when it burns it's bright. Well, I ain't an up and coming, but I'm bringing the fight. This ain't some rhinestone bit, and this ain't some circus show. Son, this is pure cowboy shit. Ain't your daddy's rodeo, it ain't his rodeo. A little now, how it felt back then, and all we were living for was a show around the bend, and it all might be just in case it could have been, but it's never too late to crack the rigging out again. This ain't some rhinestone bit, and this ain't some circus show. Son, this is pure cowboy shit. Ain't your daddy's rodeo, no, it ain't his rodeo.
Welcome back to HTX Renegade Radio, second hour.
The second hour, the moment you've all been waiting for. I know we have. Thanks for coming back, guys. It's been awesome to see the comments coming in. It really means a lot to us. We've had a lot of people jumping in, some people jumping off, but hey, we love it. We're going to keep talking real. We're going to bring it all the time, every time. And hey, this next hour or however much time we got, we want to definitely jump into something that really, really means the world to us. And that's our kids and the effects that's been happening. Once again, we're doing all this kind of COVID talk because it is the 1 year anniversary of the first case. A lot has happened. It's almost been a blur since we got to this point. But yeah, man, we want to talk about what's happening with our kids out there. And this is kind of a preface to some amazing guests. If you know who we are from before when we were doing another show, Lynn Davenport, Kim coming on the show, one of our best shows we ever had, because they're out there fighting the fight for our children, and they can tell you firsthand what it's like and what they're up against and what we're all up against and what we need to do. And that's always educational. It's informative. I'm just going to break down a little bit of what I have gathered. And this was courtesy of Mr. Lawrence Jones. He's a new broadcaster on Fox, but these stats actually came from, let's just start off with the Stanford study via Wall Street Journal. They were saying that due to this COVID, that kids now, because of this 1 year study gap that is happening, they're now looking at a chance of 6 to 9% earning less over their career. Just from this last year of what's happening. That is how far we have set back our society just in this 1 year of not hands-on good teaching of
almost
how far
seems,
we've been.
Almost seems intentional.
Imagine that.
They've been
the dumbing down of America.
Well, they've been doing that since the Obama administration, and honestly, in my opinion, the Common Core stuff, creating divide between parents and kids on being able to help with homework and, the counseling and all that, where they promoted on kids going to teachers or counselors instead of going to parents. I mean, all that's a bunch of bullshit, man. And that's where we're at, dumbing down our kids. It's going to be a hell of a time, for them with, like you said, with jobs and even college. Where's that going to put them on getting, taking the exams for college, on the entrance exams, and just crazy.
Yeah. Hey, how many of y'all are ready to go out there and trust that doctor who did homeschooling and just was able to just look on the internet for anything?
Virtual gallbladder surgery.
Yeah,
we think we're in the right place.
Well, I mean, it actually even stems a little further than that. You just think about all this you said the dumbing down. It's like, how far can we go with this as far as what we want to do with our kids? There, like you said, there was a time when your parents could help you with some math. Now we're at a time where they're trying to make us do so much more that the other countries, China, obviously a big example, Japan, Russia, some of the other ones, they're still sticking to the old ways of doing mathematics. They're still doing times tables. They're still going through this. We're having to write out something like it's a damn essay just to solve what 2 times 2 is. Thank God I don't have to go there yet. My daughter is still just learning addition and subtraction. But once we get to the next level, I'm sure it's gonna get there. And at this rate, it's going to get there even quicker. It's a shame what's happening to our kids right now.
Muted. I was muted. I was trying to say, hopefully by the time she gets up there in school like that we have different elected officials in there doing the right things for kids and changing what needs to be done for these kids to get better education. And not, it's unfortunate for a lot of people, but when you try to dumb down kids and get everybody on the same level, you're not promoting good things. Some kids that don't play sports are better academically. And when you start really taking that advantage away from them, what do you do? It goes back to the same thing of having boys play girl sports. I mean, it's
record breaking.
It's a damn shame, man. It's a damn shame that the mentality of that would even, you could even get any of that off the ground. This 1% and less than 1% totals on everything that we talk about. I mean, just think of that magic number. Less than 1% on most of the stuff that we talk about is pushing this country.
Yes.
So it's an insanity.
The elitist.
It's insanity to even, the mentality on this is just insane all the way around.
100%, man. That's a very good point. The 1% problems and the 1% of the people who are causing those problems. The 1% of the people who are buying up everything to control everything. That's a good point. So, and hey, this show, we stay clear with our morals and values, but just because you're on one side or the other doesn't mean you're special. I can promise you that. If you're a Republican and you're in a special interest, and hey, no love lost here. I can't wait for you to be voted out, because this show is all about the people being able to do what generations before did without sacrificing our morals and values. Like the stuff some of this stuff is just so damn over the top that we're just having to adhere to. This is me, man. This is personal. So I don't want my children to be exposed to some of this stuff. I don't think it's right. I don't believe in it. And unfortunately, that puts me in a place where I have to find a community that thinks similar to me, thinks that I don't want my children to be put in freaking cages to go to school, have to wear masks, not be able to communicate, lose all sense of smiles and communication when they're little sponges and they need everything they possibly can get. You want to talk about dumbing down people? Imagine putting kids in transparent cages, making them wear masks to where they can't even socialize, and that's the best case scenario. The worst case is there's kids that haven't even seen school in a year.
Exactly.
And hey, I do want to say something before I hit some more of these stats on how serious this is, but here's another big problem, and I can't wait till we can have Kim and Lynn back on, because just to pick their brains is amazing, because they have a
network, man.
Yeah, they have a network, but they have a unique perspective because they're hands-on. This is what they do. And I promise you guys, stick with us, share this show, because we're gonna set this up very soon. You want to talk about some badasses that bring it?
Kim Gutierrez and Lynn Davenport. I'm going to tell you, there's so many people in their network of friends and like-minded people that deal with this education stuff. So there's a lot of people behind the scenes, but there's a lot of people out there fighting that we don't even know are fighting for our kids. But
we could do that. We can do that. And they're going to educate us on how, or what some of the first things you could do. But this is the flip side of this. I'm going to break this off right now, because one of the biggest things that we're seeing right now, which I really don't agree with, I'm kind of appalled by it, is these teachers unions. Anytime you have these government unions that are able to sway votes, now you're talking about a whole different thing. You basically just put a whole category of teachers, and that's not saying that every one of them swing this way or not, but when you're in this union, you're a part of that crowd. So that's definitely, I can't wait to ask that and get some expert opinion on, because obviously there was a lot of money going this way or that way to certain administration, and it's a sad thing that it should be like that, because I think that affects all of our children, and I don't think unions should affect a vote, and I don't think they should have influence on it. So government unions need to stay the hell out of that, my opinion. But I want to be educated on that, because I want to hear from people who are down in it, and
we definitely got the right people that are down in it. And I can tell you, I mean, definitely want to get the feds out of the schools.
Yep.
That's the downfall when the standardized testing and the whole nine, man. It creates so many problems. It makes things difficult on the parent and the child. And we definitely need to get that straightened out. And we've got the right people to do that. And they work hard, man. They work hard. And they do. As much as we're passionate about what we do and the whole realm of the political side of things, these two for sure in their network, they're true renegades and outlaws. They get out there.
Damn right.
They get out there and get it done. So
that's what everybody out there is. We all have became renegades and outlaws, because if you speak up, you got a chance to be canceled. You got a chance to lose or whatever, but it takes renegades and outlaws to stand up for what's right and keep making a difference. And I promise you, that will be the message that they will bring. That's the message we want to bring. That's why we're doing what we do.
Exactly.
There's no denying that. The reason that we're sitting here right now is because we want a bunch of like-minded people. And for those that aren't like-minded that join in, let's have some narrative. Let's talk about it. Let's make this world a better place. That's what we're trying to do at the end of the day. And it's all about the children. Sad news. I'm going to go ahead and just break these stats out so we can get
break
down
them out.
into them.
These are very important. I mean,
it's disheartening to think about that. We started the show with COVID. We started talking about the effects on businesses. We started talking about opening up businesses. We started talking about the border coming open. But a lot of times what gets missed is our children, our schools, and how damn important that is, because we're so busy in the real world of making money and what we got to do, what we got to think about, that we forget about the facilities that are actually putting thoughts and education into our kids. So with that being said, this is off of insurance claims for kids of the age of 13 to 18. We have found out that 99% increase in teens harming themselves or in the ultimate worst case scenario is actually suicide. It's a damn shame, man. I don't know what the age group that we have out there. For me, it's been a while since I've been a teenager, but I don't remember those being the easiest years by no means. There's a lot of growing up. There's a lot of peer pressure to be cool or fit in or do this or do that, or if sports was your life and now all of a sudden that's ripped away from you. You can't be social. You can't go nowhere. If you are, you got to be covered up. They still haven't even provided the data on masks, so they sure as hell don't know the mental effects that they're causing on our social what this has caused socially for our kids. Obviously, with 100% nearly increase in suicide and physical harm, obviously you want to talk about a pandemic, epidemic. How about our children? How about paying a little bit of attention to them? Anytime you got 100% increase in suicide or physical harm on our kids because of this, that's the freaking problem. You want to talk about this 0.016% that's dying, and heaven knows that I am not talking down on anybody who has suffered through this disease, but I'm talking about 0.01% here. Now I'm talking about the future of our country, of our children, we're sacrificing for this.
So the total future for these 100%. Kids. You know, one of the things, I know you're about to get into this, but one of the things that I've noticed with a lot of the kids, and the schools have a responsibility too. When it comes to the teachers, I know when you look at Pimp was saying that, the first thing we need to do is thank your teachers. Definitely a lot of them out there. There's some damn good teachers that are out there. And, here's to all the good teachers out there that do have the kids' best interests at heart and is willing to give them and provide that education in order to get them to succeed in life for sure. One of the things that I would say is this whole COVID mess going into virtual learning. Virtual learning's created a mess when it comes to some teachers not holding the responsibility of making sure the kids are actually learning something. They've been loaded down with work. They have so many hours to get it done. And that puts a lot of pressure on kids, especially when you have student athletes. They still have to go and do the deed when it comes to their athletic, obligations. But at the same time, they stay up till, 11:30, midnight and trying to get their work done. And it's created a mess. I've seen it. I haven't seen it firsthand as far as, really hitting my kid hard. Sometimes she makes a lot of things look easy, but I've seen her stressed, and this kid never gets stressed. And I put her in a position to step away for a little bit, take a break, and then hit it back after you cleared your head. So, I didn't mean to cut into your stats there, but I mean, it's huge. I have seen the stress levels increase on kids. Not just my kid, it's friends of hers, and I mean, it's real. No, the problem is real.
You're exactly right. That's the whole thing. Is like we already have a crisis before this crisis, and that's just keeping our kids. Nowadays, they're so quick to put kids on medication, or there's something wrong, or oh, this is wrong, or oh, this is wrong. Keep on taking this, or whatever. But then you don't bat an eye when you just think you can shove all this fear down kids. I mean, these stats that I was basing that on are for teenagers, obviously 13 to 18. But what about the younger kids that are having to see this? They're the sponges. I mean, your brain expands pretty much everything you're gathering as a very young child. You're learning everything. So you're coming up in a time frame where you can create. So, and I mean, obviously in my household, we really don't play that crap. We've been, my daughter has been going back to school since day one. We signed her up and said, hey, we're going to go. I want my daughter to be in school. I want her to be socially active. She needs her friends, and she needs a chance to actually get out and play. She needs to be in the sunshine. It's actually good for you. It's a lot better than
of course,
sitting inside watching MSNBC thinking you're going to die every time you take a deep breath.
The sky is always falling.
Yep, because you know why? Fear pays. But no, when it comes to your kids, man, this is why it was so important that we open up, we do this. But they did allow it. Every business, and every business has the right to do what they want to do. If you want to still go with the mask mandate, more power to you, whatever it takes. If you don't, more power to you. Me personally, and maybe call me an idiot or whatever, but the people who want to open up and say, hey, I don't really need to wear this mask from here, from the hostess stand to 20 feet over there before I sit down. Hallelujah. Because you know what? That's a dangerous 20 feet before I make it to that table and sit down next to everybody. Get the hell out of here. The stupidity has to end.
It don't add up. It's like Common Core. It does not add up.
And just to get back to our kids, sorry about that.
Yeah,
but
let's get on. I'd like to know these stats, man.
Well, the other one I was really wanting to get in is just overdosing as well. The drug use on kids. It's bad enough suicide's already up, but now overdosing and more drug use, which during teen years, experimenting, whatever it may be, has got on to a point to where I don't know. And who knows? Whether it was hardcore narcotics or if it's more prescription pills or reaching in grandma's pain pills, I don't know. But overdosing is up 120% right now. It all ties back to this. Teenagers are trying to find a way to cope. It's not normal. It's not humane. People need human interaction. I mean,
you're in a time too. You're in a time too when kids are trying to figure their way, find their way, and hormones at teenage years already. I mean, take that stress coupled up with what we have now, and that makes it a huge problem. And I know, our listeners and the friends and people we're surrounded by all the time. I mean, they're very involved with their kids' stuff. And this is what I would say to anybody that I don't know that's listening and that doesn't normally watch the show, that you do check the show out. Parents, be there for your kids. Take the time out to find out what's going on at school. Take the time to find out what's going on with their work, and try to help where you can. And don't leave these kids just hanging out there. Yeah, it's a good thing for them to learn things on their own at times, but there's some things that are going on right now that they really need the interaction between parents that really give a shit, and and push them along this rough time that we've been at. I know for most of the American families that are out there, everybody's been stressed. Everybody's been stressed this past year. I mean, hell, 2019 was no different for me than 2020 was, with the exception of the COVID stuff. You know what I mean? 2019, I was so glad to get out of that. Those first 3 months of up to March in 2020 were great. And then all of a sudden 2020 just falls back down to what 2019 was. So, and then who knows, we're not even barely into March yet. And so let's see where this goes, for 2021. But honestly, we know that parents have been stressed out through all of 2020. It's been a hard, rough time for a lot of people. But you got to take the time out to realize that your kids are going through some stuff now the same way, the same stress, especially your teenage kids. We talked about the suicide rates, how much they've increased. They're still trying to find their way through life, and they're things are changing for them. They're gonna need you there. So please take the time out, talk with your kids, make sure that they're mentally in the right place as far as not dealing with the stress and how to deal with the stress, and how to deal with this homework debacle virtually. And the more you get involved, the easier it's going to be for you and your kids. So
I mean, that's what it is. I mean, it comes down to, well, God, man, I think deep down, I hope to think that, most people have a genuine love and care and, ultimate hugging and kissing for their family and all that good stuff. But
no doubt,
hey, obviously it's been stressful, man. I mean, God, man, it's been, I don't know if we're meant for all this stuff. As far as, it's, for one thing, if Saudi Arabia and Russia are going to collapse the oil industry, then it's COVID, then it's hurricanes, then it's winter mixes, then it's oh my God, you don't have electricity, then it's your kids can't even go to school. What the hell are you going to do? You can't even go into work. Now you got to figure out if you're going to have daycare or not. Then you're getting furloughed, and then you don't have as much money, and then you got to find daycares. The logistics of these crises is stressful, to say the least.
Yeah.
And then
absolutely,
what is missed a lot of times is your kids pick up on it, man. I'm probably guilty as hell of it, and I hate to even admit that, man. But I got little kids around, and sometimes work comes home, or sometimes logistics comes home, and it ain't easy for anybody out there, and it damn sure ain't easy for the people who've been forced out of work. It's not easy.
No,
and ultimately what it leads to is more crime, man. I mean, people have little kids that can't even eat, and they don't know how they're going to get food. I mean, what are you going to do at that point? You're going to ask the government for more money, and they're going to want more tax money out of you. And that's the plan that's happening right now. Because with a little bit more of your tax dollars, we could feed everybody in the world. That's the way they say. Meanwhile, they're taking their raises every chance they get. It's always incorporated in one of these bills. That's why they can go into office from a bartender to a millionaire in 4 years just by running their mouth with stupidity.
That's an understatement, by the way.
Yeah, no, but it's a true fact.
It's a true fact. It's a true fact. We've talked about the teen suicide increase and all that, and here's one of the things that I'd like to say on this is, when I was growing up, we used to have community day and the area that I grew up, and it was awesome because everybody in the community got together, and it was so many people that were involved to make it happen. Some were involved in local politics, small town politics, and and it was great though, because there was something for everybody, and there was so much help. There was from booster club stuff down to charitable work, and that's what we need to get back to is we promote the community, get your stuff straight in your community, work in your house, work on getting your house in order, and then branch that out into your community. So I would say that would be an awesome thing to promote a community day for some of these towns that are able to do it. And, let's get people involved where you get to know your neighbors, you get to know your community. And now we've got so many people that have come in and you don't know who they are. You don't know where they stand. Some people don't want the spotlight. Some people do want the spotlight. Some people want a voice. Some of these people want somebody else to be their voice. And they just don't want again the spotlight. But we talked about the teen suicide, and one thing I want to say is, we can't expect good things or the proper things to happen from the government to curb the teen suicide. And I bring this up because we have fighting men and women that have served this country that we still have a suicide rate for veterans at 22 a day.
100%.
That is a problem. And if we're looking for the government to find a solution to these problems that involve, people that have gone and served this country and are dealing with rough times, we're not going to get that, help. They don't get that help now. Right. It's up to us. It's up to people like us and WO and, Bill of Rights Network, even over at VRS. I mean, it's up to people like that. Second Amendment Ranch. It's up to the people like that to get out there and bring the awareness up and help out people in the community. So and definitely HTX Renegade Radio.
Yep.
We're all here to help out and no doubt, but I don't see any positive thing coming from this as far as the government needs to step in and they need to curb this teen suicide rate. They don't do nothing for the suicide rates of veterans. Why would they do anything for the kids? And so it goes down to us being parents. It goes to us being compassionate for the people in our community. And it goes down to helping these kids, push them in the right direction to go. And this doesn't have to be political. There's no bias here. It doesn't have to work like that. It's actually honestly wanting to see kids succeed in life and not live under the shadow that they've got us under this whole 2020. Let's get them out of this. Let's be the sunlight that actually going to get rid of that shadow and shine it on where it needs to be shown. Get these kids in the right direction, man. And we're obligated. We're obligated as people to do that. We can't wait for the government to take care of us on anything.
That you nailed it right there. That is politics aside. That's just being a good person, right? That's just what's expected.
You're right. And how many people are going to make that political? How many people are going to make that bias?
That's all you hear all day long.
We've got administration willing to help people that are coming to this country illegally, but we have a problem here.
We've always had a problem here.
We have, but
we never take care of it. That's why America First was a hell of a slogan.
The true pandemic here is the veteran suicide, is the teen suicide rates.
Yeah.
We didn't even talk about the everyday, the working Americans that have on the suicide rate. The parents of some of these children. Yeah, exactly. The first responders. I mean, this is a huge pandemic, and I can guarantee you those percentages are going to be a hell of a lot higher than that less than 1%.
Dude, you just said it. I mean, we're talking about less than 1% of total deaths because of COVID, but we've got 100% increase in suicides in our children, our teenagers, 120% more claims of overdoses for teenagers.
Yeah.
That just sums it up. And then God bless them. I mean, I spend a little time in the healthcare. I've probably talked about it on previous shows as well. And it's not an easy job, man. I mean, it's not any, I don't want to get into the whatever about that, but healthcare is a business. And when business is overpowering the care of people, it's sad. But that's owners and that is hospitals and that's people with money investing.
Exactly.
They only care about money just like anybody else cares about a flange fitting, piece of pipe, whatever. But the workers that go out there and do the job and actually have to build relationships and deal with the patients, they're not getting paid any different. They're not buying $1 million homes. They're just out there putting their freaking lives on the line for the people who are buying the $1 million homes.
Exactly. And they're taking on, mortgages that they probably shouldn't be taking on. There's no benefit there coming from anybody to help these people out either. The debacle through 2020, trying to help people, whether they were living in an apartment or they rented a house or had a mortgage and they, people that got furloughed or lost their job. I mean, that's huge. And there should have been some help from the banks as well there to have that compassion to help people out.
The banks
put those off. But I mean, it's crazy. Yeah. I see Donnie put in there, Sheldon, Texas. Great place. Donnie probably remembers a lot of those community days out there, and they were great.
Hey, I can promise you this right now. We're what are we, less than a week and a half? We're less than 2 weeks as an entity. We're getting this thing off the ground. We don't just get on here and talk 2 hours and then just go about our day. We will be in the community, our local community. We will be branching this to our nationwide community with all of you to make everybody involved.
Exactly.
We're not just doing this because it sounds good. We're doing this because we believe in it and we love people and we want to see better things for our community. So stick with us, guys, because I can promise you there's going to be a lot of good that's going to come from what we're doing right now.
Exactly. I think we're at a point we're probably going to have to wrap up so we can get final thoughts done. And then, I like to finish the show off with the Star Spangled Banner.
Always.
And, but I know we've got 7 minutes to make this thing happen. So
yeah,
what do you got for your final thoughts?
Oh man, it's been a good show, man. And it's been a long ass year. No doubt. And that's not just here. That's for everybody out there that had to go through this. I mean, I can promise you that everybody has experienced some kind of difficulty throughout this year because obviously there was a lot of adjustments that had to be made on the fly. I pray that everybody out there is still keeping their head up and doing what they can do to provide for their families. If you need help, we're always here. You can reach out to me or Simple Man anytime. We're known for that. We've talked to many of our listeners before, and we love you guys. There's no doubt about that. So if there's ever anything on your mind and you need somebody to talk to, we'll always be here. You nailed it earlier, man, when you were talking about it. It always starts with you, what you can control, and how you can make a difference. Obviously, none of us are going to go down there and be able to just change a vote, but we can make a difference in our community. I'm proud to say that I've met a lot of great families out there through organized sports. When my daughter playing soccer, the families that I'm dealing with, I've seen Deanie and Brian in here. Love you guys. It's meant the world to me to be a part of our soccer team and everything, and keeping our little group together and just keeping normalization going. We're still hanging out together. We're still being a part of the community. On Wednesday, it's 100% open. Hallelujah. Thank you, Greg Abbott, for that. We'll see who does this, who does that. But it's a good chance for people to get an opportunity to get back out there, get off unemployment, put some money back and some food on the table. It means a lot to me to even say this because, damn it, it's been a long year. And it's time that we get back to normal and we stop letting this media dictate a narrative which makes absolutely no sense. Guys, what I told you tonight, you can type in Worldometers. Go look it up. I'm not just here spitting off numbers for the hell of it. Go look it up if you don't believe me. This is what's out there. This is what we're dealing with. We don't need to settle or cut down a whole damn economy because of an agenda to take off pocket padding career politicians to feed their pockets. Let's vote them the hell out. 2022 is going to be a big year. That's where we start making a difference. The fear has already started. That's why they're trying to pass these bills. We didn't really touch on much, but this HR1 bill, it's going to the Senate. Let's pray to God that they stop this, because this is going to be the worst nightmare ever known to human American man. Because if they're just going to let anybody just come up and throw a vote, it don't matter if they're dead or not, we've lost everything. So guys, we love you. We're on YouTube. Yeah. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitch now. We're on
Parlor
everywhere.
Cloud Hub, Freedom Lake. We're over at Freedom Lake, so definitely come check us out. We'll have something together next time that lays out everywhere we're at. And my final thoughts.
We love you guys.
Again, aren't going to be much different. I'm going to promote the community thing. I think, man, once we're in a position, with W Entertainment and with Bill of Rights Network, where let's branch the veterans and the everyday common people that, the civilian, let's branch that and work together on doing positive things in our communities. I think once we do that, we're able to make so many accomplishments if we do that. And there's so many things to focus on so many good things to do for kids, for our veterans, even for our elderly and people that are in need in the community. There's so many ways we can do things, and I think let's promote that and let's get out there and do it. And hey, let's put our money where our mouth is, as we always said. Not necessarily the money. Let's put the work in.
Yeah.
The work, the just doing is the main important thing. Get out there and do it. Hey, love y'all out there. Appreciate y'all listening to us. Check us out. Like, share, subscribe, whatever y'all got to do. Get us out there. We love y'all. I'm going to finish the show up with the Star Spangled Banner. And I think
there was a lot of comments, a lot of new people jumping in there. Don't be shy. If you jump in, talk to us. We're more than happy to put your comment up there. We're more than happy to interact and share it to everybody. We got to get the voice out, because if we don't do it, who the hell will?
Exactly. Thank y'all for listening to us. Love y'all, and stay tuned for the Star Spangled Banner.
Till next week.